Qin Tian refused. The refusal was decisive, and no one expected him to decline, especially since it was the clan leader who had personally invited him. Even Qin Jiantian was secretly surprised. Someone in the Qin family dared to refuse him. Where was the clan leader's authority? However, Qin Jiantian did not become angry, nor did he press the issue. Qin Tian was very important to the Qin family at the moment. Just the fact that he could withstand Qin Xiangtian's attack was enough to give him a lot of leverage. There were probably very few young people in Qinghe City who could endure the full-force strike of a peak-level spirit-gathering expert, and even the top talent, Xiao Rufeng, would struggle to do the same. The news spread quickly that Qin Tian had defeated Qin Kun with one move at the martial arts field and withstood Qin Xiangtian's shadowless divine skill. Within half a day, the entire Qinghe City knew about it. What seemed like a simple competition actually hid deeper currents. The rise of a genius was always under heavy scrutiny, especially a genius who dared to refuse Qin Jiantian's invitation, making other families pay even more attention. Was there something hidden behind the refusal? Could it be that Qin Tian had accumulated resentment over the years and sought revenge on the Qin family? It was puzzling and worth thinking about. This also became an opportunity, like throwing a small stone into a calm lake, causing ripples. But no one dared to ignore it, for it could one day turn into a massive wave. In the morning, Qin Tian and Meng Lei returned to the Furong Tavern. At the backyard of the Furong Tavern, Zhang Dafu was covered in cold sweat, kneeling on the ground, his body shaking uncontrollably in fear. He already knew what had happened at the martial arts field, and he was almost scared to the point of wetting his pants. Over the past few months, he had been torturing and scolding them, but now the tables had turned, and he was getting what he deserved. Qin Tian sat on a millstone, chewing on some dry grass, and looked at Zhang Dafu with a mocking smile, feeling a sense of satisfaction in his heart. He had never considered himself a gentleman, and occasionally he enjoyed acting like a villain. Seeing Zhang Dafu bowing and fawning over him, Qin Tian felt a great sense of enjoyment. The hardships and suffering he had endured in the past came flooding back to his mind, and he signaled Meng Lei with his eyes. Meng Lei understood immediately, stepped forward, and slapped Zhang Dafu hard across the face. Slap! The loud sound of the slap made Zhang Dafu see stars, but he dared not use his internal energy to resist. If he did, it might not just be a slap. After the slap, Meng Lei foolishly smiled, feeling that his first wish had been fulfilled. Qin Tian also walked over and helped Zhang Dafu up, saying, "I've forgotten about the past. You know what to do from now on." I understand. Zhang Dafu bowed deeply and kept nodding, too afraid to look Qin Tian in the eye. "You can go now. There's nothing for you to do here." "Ah, young Master Qin, I'll get to work now." Zhang Dafu quickly left, as if fleeing. He was filled with panic. He was merely a servant of the Qin family, tasked with managing some of their properties. Now that Qin Tian had regained his strength, his status was obviously much higher. With just a word from him, the Qin family could easily expel him from Qinghe City or even have him executed. "Young master, are you really going to let him off? He treated us so badly before." "Forget it. It's not worth arguing with a servant. Life is tough for everyone." "Young master, what should we do next? Qin Xiangtian will surely not let us off easily." "Should we leave Qinghe City?" Qin Tian squinted, recalling the fiery look in Qin Xiangtian's eyes at the martial arts field. After a moment of contemplation, he said, "Fatty, we will leave Qinghe City, but not just yet." Of course, they couldn't leave yet. How could Qin Tian leave without defeating Qin Xiangtian, the big boss? Wouldn't it be a waste of an opportunity in a game not to defeat the boss? In the game, could there be any reason not to kill the boss? If you don't kill the boss, what's the point of playing? Qin Tian wasn't yet a match for Qin Xiangtian, but to kill the boss, he would need to get stronger. However, sooner or later, Qin Xiangtian would die at his hands. If he didn't kill him, how could he justify it to himself? Meng Lei said nothing and moved to the side. Everything was in Qin Tian's hands. He just needed to follow. "Young Master Qin, the city lord wants to see you." Zhang Dafu rushed into the backyard and said respectfully, his attitude toward Qin Tian now more deferential than to his ancestors. Servants were like this. They knew how to fawn over people, and they were quite skilled at it. City Lord? Qin Tian asked, puzzled. Why would the City Lord be looking for me? Yes, in the DZ private room. If you don't want to see him, I can turn him away. The Qin family has never been keen on dealing with the government. Zhang Dafu said quietly. See him? Take me there, Qin Tian said with a gleam in his eye, suddenly thinking about why someone would seek him out. Today, the Furong Tavern was unusually busy, with many distinguished people from Qinghe City coming in, including members of the four major families, making it feel like a gathering of dragons. Their purpose was clear. Qin Tian. In the DZ private room. Haha, as expected, a hero emerges from the youth. As Qin Tian stepped in, a man in his 40s, with a rugged face and a slightly unfocused gaze, greeted him with a smile. City Lord, your presence brings great honor to this humble establishment, Qin Tian cupped his hands and said. Haha, Qin, my friend, you are too humble. Zhao Nantian, the City Lord, placed his hand on Qin Tian's shoulder, as though they were very familiar with each other. Qin Tian smiled inwardly, showing a surprised expression on his face, acting as if he were flattered. Zhao Nantian was pleased by this. Qinghe City was part of the Great Li Dynasty and a major city in the northwest. However, the government's influence in Qinghe City was far weaker than any of the four major families. In many cases, Zhao Nantian had to bow to the families, seeking their approval for major decisions. As city lord, he felt humiliated by this. He had repeatedly petitioned the imperial court to station troops in Qinghe City, but for some reason, none of his requests had been successful, and the city's guards had been reduced year by year. Consequently, he had to build his own power, hoping to establish his own influence and gradually eliminate the four major families. He was an ambitious man, but his ambition was bigger than his ability. When he learned that Qin Tian had openly refused the clan leader's invitation, his sharp senses told him this was a great opportunity to win over a genius. Qin Tian hated dealing with officials, but he came to meet Zhao Nantian because he knew that to curry favor with someone, there had to be conditions. Qin Tian was greedy, extremely greedy. He didn't want to miss out on any benefits he could get. As expected, after a few pleasantries, Zhao Nantian took out a small pill bottle and whispered, "These are 5 guardian pills. They protect the heart, alleviate pain, and while there aren't many, it's a token of my sincerity." City Lord, what is this for? I cannot accept something without merit. Qin Tian pretended to refuse, but he had already grabbed the pills. Zhao Nantian, experienced in the ways of the world, immediately laughed. Just consider them a gift from an elder to a younger brother. I hope that's acceptable. Well, this is too much. While speaking, Qin Tian had already put the guardian pills into his pocket, showing no signs of reluctance. He then checked the properties of the pills. Guardian pills, level, 2nd tier, effect, protects the heart, disperses evil, alleviates pain. Health, 400, Qi, 80, survival, 20. Only a 2nd tier pill? Damn, he's so stingy. Qin Tian inwardly sneered but showed a delighted expression, lowering his posture and acting very polite. Zhao Nantian smiled, pleased, thinking, this Qin Tian really knows how to play the game. Qin, my friend, what are your plans for the future? Qin Tian smiled inwardly. Now comes the main event. What plans do I have? I just want to be a servant. I don't want to return to the Qin family. Zhao Nantian was pleased, thinking, looks like these 5 guardian pills were worth it. What do you think about becoming an official? An official? I'm just a lowly commoner. How could I dare to think of such a thing? I don't dare. I don't dare. Qin Tian pretended to be naive and silly, making Zhao Nantian laugh. With the city's defenses weak, I'm recruiting talents. Would you be interested? If you are, I'll appoint you as the city defense captain. Really? Of course. But I can't leave. The clan leader won't allow me to go. Qin Tian showed a troubled expression. Qin Jiantian is too arrogant. One day, I'll deal with him myself. I mean, I'll personally have a word with him and make sure he lets you go. Zhao Nantian, in his anger, let slip something he shouldn't have said. If Qin Jiantian heard that, there would be trouble. Zhao Nantian held the position of city lord, but he was nothing more than a figurehead. If not for the 4 major families giving him some face and paying taxes, his life would be even harder. Qin Tian took the opportunity to enjoy a meal, receiving 5 guardian pills and leaving as soon as he could. Zhao Nantian was all talk with no real power. By the end of the meal, Qin Tian had heard enough to get bored. The secret meeting between the city lord and Qin Tian spread quickly, and within half an hour, the other families knew. Then, Qin Tian continued to change his expressions, playing his role in scene after scene. By the end of the day, he had accumulated 13 spirit-nourishing pills, 25 guardian pills, 4,000 taels of silver, and countless promises from the various families. That night, Qin Tian sighed and said, "Acting is an art.